Slowly Dying by DCP. Would that it had been the sting of a serpent to swiftly rend the soul from its pen. Instead, I've been left alive to rot for an uncertain length of time, having been made, alas, to pine by a bleed that will not clot. I had an ivy plant around that hung from the ceiling and covered the floor, which oddly began to wax poor, and stem by stem it turned to brown. It started to wither around the time he and I both began to pine. The more I nurtured it, the faster it died, until it had to be thrown outside. Seeing my affections were to him a bind, when he came back, I turned him away. More than I wanted him to be mine, I wanted him to be happy. Like a shaking puppy that's run and hid, that's slipped from the grasp of a careless kid, so now I too have turned within, begging not to be held again. So I neglect to leave behind an address, so he can never find a way to ignore again the cost and crawl once more onto his cross. I face the window on the train, scurry home and hope for rain, ignore the ringing of the phone, watch the TV like a drone. Would that it had been an affliction of disease that by year's end would have put my soul at ease. I did not suspect the things I did would ever earn what I have felt. The way the cards are being dealt, I'll likely live to see 100. A triumph for those who have taken offense, a victory for any I may have injured. All who have ever wished me recompense have had their prayers answered. Now the memories are almost quelled of the halo that rested on my head, that brightened my path wherever I tread, at the thought it was my turn to finally be held. Yes, that is funny, come to think of it. Washy as a tether, silent as the weather, loyal as a puppy. Loyal as a puppy. But now the time is near for rigor mortis to set in. Once more I am able to overhear, "Good God, is she sick again?" The stammering, the hair pulling, have all returned with poor health. The shell that had broken has mended itself. A good thing it did, for I was able to train it to carry out my daily chores and to do so much more. To work when hired, to drink when thirsted, to bathe when required, to smile when requested. At night, it returns for the inevitable end of a spilling wound that will not mend, that cannot clot, that will not heal, that can't forget, that will not seal. A child was heard nearing while lying in bed who, seeing an act of mercy was called for, proceeded to pull the covers over my head before leaving out and closing the door. Would that it had been a shard of titanium that pierced the cranium and delivered me from sin. Instead, here I lie, since we have been apart, slowly dying.